Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back for episode 6 of my VGC 2015 Road to Rank, where I climb the online ladder and, try my best to practice VGC, do well, and hopefully not lose. Today we're going to be using a team that my boy Bravieris did pass me. It might look a bit standard, bar a Scavalier. Maybe you see like an Aegislash in that slot or something else. But it does have one or two tricks up its sleeve. For example, the Zard Y is actually a Flamethrower Hidden Power Ground variant. I was thinking, Heat Wave was always the better option, and maybe Overheat if you wanted to OHKO Mega Kangaskhan back in the day. Thinking more VGC 2014, not really back in the day. But this one only has Flamethrower, Solar Beam, HP Ground, and Protect, so it's really interesting. Citrus Berry, Wide Guard, Conkeldurr, Choice Scarf, Landorus T, Berry, Escavalier. This thing puts the entire team on its back. Calm Rotom with leftovers, and of course Cresselia. So we're actually just going to be looking for a game. I really like the Escavalier just because that Akaberry lets it take weaker spread moves. I don't want to say weak because it's 4 times effective and Aka only cancels out like ×2, but if I'm not mistaken, could be completely wrong. But we have found an opponent who actually has a lot less points than us. Okay, but we found an opponent. My opponent has a very interesting team, being Malamar, Pachirisu, Roserade, Metagross, Gengar, and Crawdon. It's really interesting. He actually just gets dismantled by Escavalier. Holy crap, it actually gets 6 kills. Oh my god, I'm leading off with it. Escavalier plus Charizard actually wrecks my opponent, so I'm actually just going to lead off with those two because he has nothing that can combat that lead. Landorus T in the back is actually pretty good for speed control, as well as the fact that I can intimidate Metagross. And then I want to bring Rotom Wash just because Rotom Wash beats everything bar Roserade on his team. Not really much to think about when I face this team because I don't know if my opponent is really, or Hunter rather, is really competitive. I'm not sure. He does have negative points, so maybe he is lower ladder, but I don't know. We'll see. And again, I am still new to this, so who knows how things are going to go. But my opponent ends up leading off a Pachirisu as well as Roserade, as I lead a Scavalier and Charizard. Now, what I'm actually going to do is choose to just go for Protect with my Charizard. I can Mega Evolve in the following turn. And I believe I can just go for Drill Run onto the... I want to go for Drill Run onto the Pachirisu slot. The reason I'm protecting is because I don't want him to nuzzle me or Sleep Powder my Charizard. I do have Overcoat on the Escavalier, so this guy sets up Toxic Spikes. Holy crap. What? Hazards? Insane? But, yeah, I am going to get off that Drill Run on the Pachirisu. It shouldn't knock it out, but it should do a hell of a lot. Escavalier is rather bulky, though it is going to... it's like a Rocky Helmet. Why is that thing even packing Rocky Helmet? Unfortunately... I really don't want to get nuzzled because my Charizard is actually really big in this game. So I think what I can do is just Mega Evolve and Flamethrower the Pachirisu and just choose to go for the Mega Horn onto the Roserade slot. Flamethrower will easily be able to knock out Pachirisu, especially that range of HP. Part of the reason why I protect is 1, to avoid that nuzzle, and 2, to weaken it so I can knock it out in the following turn. Of course, assuming my Charizard spread does outspeed his Pachirisu spread, which I'm thinking it does because 1, I'm not sure how competitive my opponent is just yet, but 2, he's probably thinking, what the hell, Flamethrower in VGC? But 2, Leech Seed. Holy crap, what is this Roserade? Call me a DPP. As unfortunately I do miss the Mega Horn, and that Leech Seed is a little bit annoying. It really just depends on what my opponent wants to bring out, though. This is really interesting because I've never seen stuff like this. You never know what you'll face in VGC. You never know if you'll be playing some top tier threat. Granted, I guess the points would show, but I'm just going to Solar Beam the Crawdon slot and Mega Horn once again, that Roserade slot. This will be a really quick game, I'm thinking. Unless he takes like a huge turn and like outplays me every single time, and he has like a Rindu Berry Crawdon with... Crawdon even got Rock Slide. I don't even know if Crawdon gets Rock Slide. I know Kingler does, but just going to be able to fire off that Solar Beam onto the Crawdon slot. That's going to be taking it down. Zard is really just putting the team on its back versus this type of team. We'll definitely be getting 1 or 2 more games, depending on how long the next game does take. But this will not be the only game. Don't even worry about that. But he goes for Nature Power. Try attack. This guy's a lord. Let's see if he can paralyze me. Yep. Didn't get it with the nuzzle, but he gets it with the Nature Power. That's actually pretty funny. But Mega Horn is actually going to OHKO his Roserade, which is really nice. And whatever he brings out, Charizard plus a Scavalier can easily take him on. And if they don't, I do have a Choice Scarf Landorus T in the back, as well as a Rotom So he brings out Malamar, and Malamar is just fodder for my Escavalier. It's actually just going to die, so just going to Flamethrower Malamar, and I would definitely just be Mega Horning that Malamar slot. And this is just an example of, you know, like I said, you never know who you're going to be facing. My opponent might be more newer to Pokemon, or it's a competitive Pokemon, or even VGC. Definitely more new than me, as again, I'm not really familiar with VGC as much, but I definitely have a bit more experience in Pokemon than I think my opponent does. And Paralyzed Charizard actually outspeeds Escavalier, and Flamethrower actually knocks out the Malamar. So that's, well, maybe my opponent didn't EV train, I'm not entirely sure, but that's also an example of how the difference in power of Flamethrower versus, I guess, Spread Move Heat Wave is. Then again, I've actually used this team a couple times. There were times that I definitely wanted Heat Wave on my Charizard, simply because my opponent would have 2 Pokemon weak to fire, or something maybe at 10% that wasn't necessarily weak to fire, but it would die to a Sun boosted fire move, and it just would have been nice versus that. But yeah, we're going to be looking for another opponent. They did recently reset the ladder, if I'm not mistaken. Though we do have a Japanese opponent. I don't know what your name says. I'm just going to call you, it looks like a little duck in the name. But my opponent does have a rain team, which is really cool. That means Charizard is going to be really nice versus this team. As well as, I think, Trick Room. Escavalier plus Charizard actually is a really just nice versus my opponent's team, plus Rotom. Escavalier, Charizard, and Rotom destroy my opponent's team. I actually think I want to lead off with Escavalier plus... I think I actually want to lead off with Charizard plus Rotom, as that gives me a good lead matchup versus anything. I can always Mega Evolve with the Sun and Protect, and then also just choose to definitely have Escavalier in the back. And it's between Conkeldurr, which doesn't necessarily help me. He does have 2 flying types. He does have Moongus. Landorus T, again, I don't think it helps me as much, but I think Cresselia is nice just because I can get a potential Trick Room going on just in case he does have Sun, and Escavalier can plow through his team. So gonna lead off with Charizard plus Rotom Wash and have Cresselia and Escavalier in the back. And Escavalier is really nice because it can switch into a Moongus. It does have Overcoat, so Spore does not work on it, and I can just blow that thing back. So a good lead for my opponent, I think, would be Talonflame plus, well, I mean, he needs something that can beat these 2 Pokemon 100%. But my opponent chooses to lead off with Swampert plus Tornadus. Now, I don't want to Mega Evolve just yet. What I actually want to do is I want to Flamethrower the Tornado slot and actually just Thunderbolt it. I don't anticipate his Swampert to actually even want to stay in. I'm not going to Mega Evolve because I don't want to waste my Protect with my Charizard. If I Mega Evolve and get up the Sun, he can easily just go for Rain Dance with his Tornadus. So I'm not expecting his Swampert to actually attack me this turn. So I'm anticipating him to want to go for Protect. Granted, I could, I guess, lose my Charizard if this goes badly, but I think that would just be the better play right here. So he does choose to Mega Evolve and Protect. No, wait, does he choose to Mega Evolve and Protect? Yes, he does. Nice. Alright, so that's good because I didn't burn, I didn't go for the, what's it called? I didn't go for Protect, so that's really nice for me. I'm actually going to Protect right here and burn the Swampert, simply because I want to weaken its attack. That way it cannot knock out my Charizard. Tornadus cannot deal with any of the Pokemon on the field right now. Charizard Y and Rotom can take it. And I want to Protect on his Rain Dance and on his Waterfall into my Charizard. So that will give me an okay turn right there, as he does end up going for that Rain Dance. So, or ends up going for that Rain Dance. So able to hopefully connect with this Will-O-Wisp. Nice, as this is really good because it means that... It means that Mega Pert is basically neutralized, and I can Mega Evolve, get up the Sun, which also further weakens his attack, or weakens the power of Waterfall, and I can also just Thunderbolt into the Tornado slot. Also, getting up Sun means that I guess he could double Rain Dance. That'd be pretty cool. But getting up Sun means that my opponent's Hurricane also has 50% accuracy, so it's really a 50-50 if he wants to hit. But able to Mega Evolve, just going to Solar Beam into that Swampert slot. Does he choose to Rain... Oh, my opponent making plays! That's what I like to see. I don't think he'll knock me out, though, because he's burnt. But that was really nice on my opponent's part. I mean, I guess it was obvious, but that's cool. That was really cool. I think I'll still live, though, but that was still really cool. Yeah, I ended up taking that, as unfortunately, I mean, it didn't matter that actually good that I flinched. Holy crap, because I actually saved my that saved my my Charizard right there. So a bit of hacks that actually saved me, as what I'm actually going to do is just choose to go for Protect with my Charizard slot. The reason being is I just don't want to take an attack this turn, and I can Hydro Pump the Swampert slot, doing a hell of a lot because of the rain that's actually boosting my stab, plus get off extra burn damage this turn. So that flinch is actually really nice. He chooses to go for Protect with his Tornadus, which is nice because I did not target that slot. I didn't anticipate Protect, but I also didn't target that slot. So, and I can always bring out Charizard later, which is really nice versus his team. He chooses to Waterfall my Rotom. I guess he anticipated the Protect with my Charizard. Cool play. But then if he did anticipate that, maybe he could have just dual attacked my my Rotom slot. But I'm able to hit this Swampert with the rain boosted Hydro Pump, as it barely misses out on the KO. It is going to be a down though in the following turn, which is nice. So what I can do right now is swap out my Charizard into Cresselia. Honestly, Cresselia is just great right here. It's bulky, takes up any hit, and maybe I can go for Protect with my Rotom. Part of me just wants to attack the Tornadus slot, but is it better just to Protect? That way Swampert 100% goes down. I guess because I don't want him like Hurricane confusing me and stuff like that. But he ends up withdrawing that Pokemon anyway, so it's probably a Mungus that's coming out. Yeah, good play on my opponent's part. As again, I'm just going to withdraw into my Cresselia. If he wants to go for Waterfall onto that slot, he will go down to the Rocky Helmet, as he actually chooses to go for the Waterfall into my Cresselia slot. So Rocky Helmet will be able to pick up the KO on top of this Pert, and I'm guessing his last is maybe Talonflame. Not entirely sure. That Thunderbolt actually did a lot. Yeah, that was a crit. Had to be a crit. Only thing that makes sense, honestly. So I can pretty easily go for Trick Room, I think, right here, because Spore into my Rotom slot is kind of. Then again, he does have this Ludicolo. So I think part of what I want to do is okay. That's what I want to do. I want to try and get up a Trick Room. He's definitely going to Spore my Cresselia and Giga Drain into my Rotom slot. So I think I want to save Rotom. Thinking Rotom doesn't do anything versus his team. So I think I just want to go for the Thunderbolt onto the Ludicolo. Just get off a bit of damage. Rotom doesn't do anything left. All he has is that Tornadus. He actually chooses to fake out my Cresselia, which is really nice because he takes a bit of he takes some Rocky Helmet damage. Now the reason I actually stayed in is because honestly I didn't want a Escavalier coming in on a potential Hydro Pump. Though I guess there was no way he was going for Hydro Pump this turn, but he is able to Spore my Rotom, so maybe I should have switched out. Definitely should have switched out actually into my Escavalier. But now at this point, because I did stay in with Rotom, he's more than likely going to Giga Drain that slot, and they do run Scald. I don't even know why I feared Hydro Pump. They do run Scald, so what I can do is actually just switch. Attempt to go for Trick Room again, and switch out Rotom into the. Maybe that was a bad play. Why the hell did I switch out? Why the hell didn't I switch out? But then again, I did get off damage to the point where Flamethrower does knock out that Assault Vest Ludicolo. So I will be able to pull back out my Rotom. I didn't anticipate him to Spore in that slot. Maybe he expected my Charizard to want to come out this turn. Then he could have just attacked that slot if he expected that. But Giga Drain is going to come out into my Escavalier slot, which is nice because that does nothing, and he has nothing on his team that could take this. He has nothing on his team that could take this Mega Horn. As I'm actually able to burn the first turn of Sleep just because my Cresselia is going to go last. So I'm going to continuously attempt to set up Trick Room. And what I'm actually going to do is go for Protect. Well, I'm going to attempt to set up Trick Room right here. And what I think he would do is Rage Powder, right? And then try and Scald my Escavalier. Like, what else is his play? So I don't really have a play to stop that, do I? I'm just going to attempt to Mega Horn the Ludicolo slot, because if he Rage Powders anyway, then it'll just be brought into Amoonguss. There's no point targeting it, as he actually chooses to go for the Spore, not knowing I do have Overcoat, not Swarm, and I'm able to get rid of the... Well, Rage Powder doesn't work on Overcoat, does it? Yeah, so I'm stupid, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look up Overcoat real quick, because I haven't used Overcoat ever. Overcoat ability. Why am I getting trench coats? Hello? Overcoat Pokemon. So all he has left is Tornadus, as well as this Amoonguss, and doesn't make a difference. I just Ice Beam and Iron Head the Tornado Slide. It doesn't honestly make a difference at all. But my opponent ends up forfeiting. And let's actually look up Overcoat because I'm not entirely sure. Overcoat has no effects. Yes, it does protect you from Powder and Spore moves. Yeah. All right, so that's good to know. But yeah, I think we're gonna leave it at that, guys. Granted, I'm still learning a lot of stuff I didn't know. Maybe switching out my my Rotom into my Scavalier would have been a better play, though I guess it ended up working out anyway because I ended up getting in my Scavalier anyway for free. So thank you guys, everybody, for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Feel free to leave a like if you did, and until next time, guys, later.